The following is a production of Create at Morgan Studios. All right, welcome back to Nerds by Screenlight. My name is Aaron.
I'm Phil.
I'm Vicki.
And I'm Zoe.
And we are at episode 62 as of today.
Cool. Nice.
62nd episode of the podcast. Following up from Dracula to this, which is it's actually kind of cool. It's a transition that I think works. However, we discovered something last night through a suggestion from somebody. A movie that I had never heard of, and apparently Phil has seen it in the way back. Yeah. Zoe, were you familiar with it at all?
No, just the song.
It's a song, and then Vicki had never seen it before. So apparently, not apparently, it exists. There's a movie called Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. It is an actual movie. It was I think released as a TV movie, I think.
Yeah, it was like a little special they did.
Yeah.
It went straight to video.
Yeah. There's a DVD cover. And it was, released on home video on October 31st, 2000. And then it aired on the WB network in 2001. They are based on this novelty song of so it aired on the CW. It also aired on AMC apparently, and also aired on the Cartoon Network, Boomerang, and Freeform. So there you go. Written by Jim Fisher and Jim Stahl. It is an interesting movie. So you only saw 8 minutes of it last night. So what was your impression of the first 8 minutes? And then Vicki and I will finish it off. To be clear, we'll talk about this in a sec. So.
Well, Grandma is a super cool lady. She has a Christmas store like all year around, and she even lets people get things like on credit, which I was unsure who this red-haired lady was, but she was like very upset that she was doing that.
I was confused too. Halfway in, I'm like, okay, who is this person to this family?
But the family is all happy because they get to work together and spend time together. Yeah. I think the only sad part for me was one of the younger kids was asking about if Santa Claus was real because him and his sister were getting into it. And Mom was like, well, it's complicated because there is a historical Saint Nick and
let's take a time out here for a second. If they have been saying that Santa Claus is real for years to this child, what all of a sudden requires them to suddenly say, oh, well, there's a scientific, mathematical, researchable, entomological
They feel bad. That's what this
connection.
is about.
It's like, so why would you? What happened? What in this family occurred? And before this movie starts, that brought about this sudden waffling by mom and dad.
Agreed.
Well, the kid also has his own computer.
Yes.
Which I'm assuming he has access to internet then.
So this movie came out in 2000. So this is when the internet was beginning.
The early internet days. I remember those days. Dial-up.
Yes.
Yep. So this kid's not hurting. Like, he has a full-on computer. He has a headset with a microphone. So this is kind of, again, if you want to ever study like contextual clues within movies, when we look at this family's house, they don't have a nice looking TV. I mean, it's pretty boxy. It's not really all that special. All of the money goes into like other stuff, and especially this kid's room. If you look in his room, he's got like a really good computer. It's not. He's got access to email. He's got it's. I don't even know if it's dial-up. It doesn't even show it as dial-up.
Right, that's true.
So this could be a kid who actually has a cable internet at home, which at that point in the 2000s was not cheap, and we didn't have it. We had dial-up for all of my childhood. So yeah. Yeah, so the red-haired girl is his cousin. Oh. What's her name? Cousin May. I don't.
Vicki's like, I'm confused too.
She's so forgettable. She makes you angry throughout the whole movie. But she basically she's so in the song. She's the cousin that they reference in the song. Cousin May or whatever her name is. So here's kind of the difference between the movies. So Grandma. She does drink too much eggnog. Okay. The movie does absolutely say, and because it chimes in with the song. Oh, Grandma, I don't know if you drinking too much eggnog after the medication. And it goes through the fact that Grandma, you've been drinking too much eggnog.
She's allergic to eggs, apparently.
Oh, God.
Which is a real allergy.
Yes.
Yeah. But she keeps drinking it because why not? But the medication, I guess, is it's Benadryl, basically, I suspect, to make sure that she's not too allergic and she doesn't die or nothing.
But it's like my mom with shrimp.
Well, but it's not like she needs an EpiPen or anything. It's just like, she's mildly allergic. She just got to take some medication before she...
Like my mom with shrimp. She just gets itchy and puffy. She doesn't choke.
Yeah.
So Grandma goes out. And so the storyline, it's so complicated, but it's also so stupidly
I
simple.
want to say like the whole thing is just insane. Like when I was a child and my mom first like sung the song to me, I was like, that's not real. That's not a real song. And then I think
it
she
is.
showed me this movie.
It's my favorite.
It is. I was giving Aaron a hard time a few weeks ago.
Sorry,
I couldn't believe it when I was a kid. And,
I was like, how dare you listen to this tragedy?
and then I
Aaron's
saw
just
the movie
smiling.
and I was like, oh, it is real.
So real they made a movie about it.
The movie makes it better.
I don't know. This movie is wild.
Okay.
It has musical numbers. I think you missed those.
Yes.
In not missing the 9 minutes, and Phil maybe has
There's
memory.
a song about how grandma's in heaven. Elvis is trying to hit on her.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So we're just waiting for Grandpa to
So
arrive.
okay, let's not go too fast here. We want to get through it, but we also
That's
want
so good.
So yeah, I will read you. Okay, hold on. I got to find her name. What's her bucket? Cousin Mel. She's
Mel.
the bad one. She's the manipulative, greedy, red-haired, crazy lady. Let's go back. Okay, so yeah, there's songs in this movie. So here you go. Number 1, obviously, Grandma got run over by a reindeer. That's the title. Roll credits. And then, so Grandma goes out. She has a fruitcake because Grandma makes fruitcakes.
Apparently, he's the only person in the world who makes good fruitcake.
Yeah.
I don't know where you guys are at with that team.
Fruitcakes are just
No.
We haven't had one we've liked.
Yeah, it's
We have a family member that sends one to Zoe's dad as a joke
Every
every
year.
year, and we
Sorry.
give it away to someone
Other
else
people.
every time.
Have this.
that actually has happened. That like fruitcakes just get passed
On and on and on.
on
Well, we
until
had
it-
a friend who was like, I found a fruitcake that's good. We tried it and we were like,
No.
yeah.
No.
If it's got like that candied fruit in it,
Yeah.
that's terrible. But if it's like real fruit, it's tolerable.
Okay. So anyway, she makes fruitcakes, and so cousin Mel puts a bad ingredient in it.
we don't know what it is.
to
They
try
never
and
find
make
out.
people like their stomachs sick and stuff.
Oh, geez.
So, but
I know. I'm like, what
cousin
you
Mel,
put there, woman?
cousin Mel's terrible.
She's horrible.
She is.
It gets worse. So cousin Mel does that, and so then Grandma takes that fruitcake 'cause she's going to go sell it or whatever.
Yeah.
And so she gets out in the yard, and only our hero, I got to remember his name because why would I? Yeah, so
What is it,
Jake
Nick?
Spankenheimer. Oh,
Horrible name.
yeah. But they lean into it the whole way through.
Oh,
Spankenheimer.
you don't even know who the lawyer's name is yet. That's
Yeah,
my favorite.
That's the name of their store too.
Yeah, Spankenheimer's. 2000s. It was 2000s humor. We were along for the ride. Doesn't mean that we were. I mean, we thought some things were funny in the 2000s, and then this is just kind of like okay. Anyway, so Grandma is walking out, and Jake sees this happen. He sees Santa and the reindeer. Oh, I know, like they're up in the sky, and then the reindeer get a whiff of the contaminated
Fruitcake.
fruitcake, and they swerve and dive bomb Grandma, run her over, kill her allegedly
Allegedly.
As
kill
you
her,
do.
as you do, and then they drive off. Or no, they cry, and then so Jake goes, "Oh no, Grandma got a reindeer, Mom, Dad." And they're like, "What are you talking about, you crazy child? No, you didn't." And nobody believes him. He's like, "No, go out there and look. She's out there." So the scene we don't see is later on. Santa leaves a note because Grandma got hit but didn't die. She actually got amnesia.
Oh.
And they took her to the
Like, she
greatest.
doesn't know who she is or anything.
They take her to the greatest medical center in the world at the North Pole, where there
all the
are
therapists.
more than one victims. In the movie, if you watch it on the YouTubes, you can search for it. There are 3 beds with 3 people in this medical center,
It's not okay.
which
so
means
this is not just a.
yeah, this is not a fluke. The reindeer have murdered-ish previously. This is not a one-off.
These
So,
reindeer are a little out of
This
control.
is why
We have
you don't
certain
eat
triggers that
fruitcake.
we need to identify.
I just.
but then when Jake ends up at the North Pole later on, and he goes to visit Grandma, those 2 beds are empty. So either they died, or
No, they're fine.
or they're out on their walks as you do in the Antarctic or the ice. I don't know, whatever.
It's not Antarctica. So it's
No.
entirely different. It's on the other side of the world. It's the North
It's
Pole.
both are cold.
I can't.
No one has penguins.
It's where the
and
polar
one-
bears are, but
Yeah.
not really.
Yeah.
One has polar bears. One has penguins.
Okay. Well, we'll pretend that that's either or, whatever you choose. So
And they drink Coca-Cola.
always Coca-Cola, except for the AI
Yeah,
ad
songs
this
in my
year,
head.
which made everybody angry.
Uh-oh.
So
Oh, there's a
Coca-Cola,
lot going on with AI right now.
Coca-Cola made an ad, and they made it in the spirit of the old ones.
Yeah.
But it was very AI. It was absolutely AI, and people called them out on it. They were like, no. That's not how you do it. Well, we're trying to do the... They're like, no, you're just trying to save money.
Yeah.
That's not how you do. So people were mad, and they yelled at Coca-Cola. Anyway,
Good.
so what all that Jake sees, so he goes out, he finally gets everyone to come out. Like, it's Grandma's gone. And they start digging, and they find her shoes. They find her something else. They find the
They
fruit-
find her medication.
Find her medication. But they don't find Grandma. So now Grandma's missing. And so now they're going to file for missing persons.
9 months go by.
9 months. 9. They put her on milk cartons. They put up posters. They do all. And here's the thing. Nobody is like really grieving the loss of Grandma.
There we see somebody wearing black.
But
and
she's
there's
in her goth phase. That's the sister.
That's true.
She's in her goth
I
phase.
kind of want to say I wanted her sweatshirt. She had like the little pom poms on the end.
Oh,
You remember
nice.
those?
Yes.
I was like, ah! Okay, moving on.
Yeah. So the 9 months, Grandma's missing. And it's like they're just kind of like family's like, oh, okay, what? Like they're not just like, oh my gosh, where is Grandma? Where did she go? Like this is terrible. And the police officers are an absolute hilarious joke. They're absolutely like, oh yeah, sure, that's all, yeah, whatever. They're a parody of people with probably Wisconsin or whatever. Nope. Wisconsin. So probably like a Fargo dig in there somewhere with those officers. So anyway, then yeah, we got to get to our songs because that's where it gets fun. So I gotta find it. There's a lot. We're still in the beginning here, really. So then we get, when does the song Grandpa's gonna sue the pants off Santa? Is that with the?
I think that's later. Because right now, like, Mel is trying to trick Grandpa into selling over rights to the store.
Oh, heck
yeah.
no.
So so Mel takes them to her favorite restaurant. And has all these, like, I'm just trying to help, and you just sign it over, and I'll take care of everything, and I'll be your banker, and I'll do everything, and Grandma's like, oh, and that's where and she's like, oh, do you want to sign? Oh, do I want to sing? No, do you want to sign? Okay, I'll sing. And then that's where we get Christmas is spending Christmas with the superstars, and it's a full-on fever dream of Grandpa imagining her in heaven, like hanging out with Elvis, doing all
He
kinds.
keeps trying to make a move order.
Yeah, it is wacky as all get out. I
That's
look.
not even the wackiest song to me.
Yeah. So then she gets the power of attorney, and she's like, "Okay, I'm gonna sell the shop because there's this guy who's like, oh, I want to turn it into my mechanical slate operations or something like that. Oh, I'm a big businessman. I own every other building in the town, and I'm gonna own this one too." And so she's all about getting dollar signs, and she wants to get that money. So she gets the
And
power.
she kind of wants to date with this guy.
Yeah, she kind of has a little crush on him, and so she gets the paperwork together and decides she's going to sell it. And so our hero finds out, and he's like, "No, you can't do that." And so the guy's like, "Oh, well, I'll give you 24 hours or whatever to find Grandma and produce her." Oh God! And so
I think it's like a weird.
I gotta say, like, just listen. I've seen this when I was a kid. Hearing you describe it, there's no way that I would think that this is a cartoon.
For real.
Because you're talking about lawyers, dead people in the North Pole, like
yeah, it's wild.
lawsuits.
There was like some
remember it
double
being-
entendre that happened too. You remember that?
I don't.
The redhead talking to Mr. Big Bucks.
I'm sure.
That's what do you want to consummate the business deal?
Oh, my
They're
Lord.
like,
it's-
oh no.
Like, I remember the story being crazy, but not this crazy.
Oh, it's so much more fun. It gets better. It continues to get better. Trust me. So now, at this point, he's now got to find Grandma. And so he sends in a letter because it's been almost a
Email.
year.
His email.
Sends an email to Santa and says, "My one Christmas wish this year is to find Grandma." Or
He sends a picture. Pretty good picture.
Sends a picture, yeah. So then we flash over to the North Pole where there is an elf who's monitoring the email inbox, gets the message, and says, "Oh my gosh, I have to take this to Santa right now." Eventually gets it to Santa, and Santa goes, "Oh my gosh," because apparently the
He
town.
takes it to the gym.
Yeah, gets.
And it's like, no one in this town believes in me. No one.
Yeah,
No
except
one.
for this kid. So he's like, we found. He's like, "Grandma, that looks like this woman." And then we now get the full reveal that Grandma, when she got hit, she got amnesia. And so she has no idea who she is.
Yeah.
She has no idea that she's been missing. And Santa's like, well, go get him, go talk to him, go take Grandma to him, like meet his, or no, bring him here. So, Santa's elf goes and gets our boy, brings him to the North Pole. This is when the other two beds are emptied to take a walk, but I think they died.
Oh no!
That's my headcanon.
I think they recovered.
The two patients. We just don't get a backstory. There's a missing story that I'm writing in my own head right now.
Well, I mean,
just trying to do it.
considering everything else that's happened, you're probably not far off.
yeah, they're covering it up. Like, oh, what are those two beds for? Nothing. Nobody died. Everyone's fine. Your grandma's great. Or maybe there was like a special treatment they were trying and it failed. Like Santa's like, oh, we'll bring the memories back of these two people and it'll work on Grandma. And then they like died in experimental failure.
No.
So Grandpa's like, and Santa's like, oh, we can't do. We gotta wait and hold on and find out what we can do. And then thankfully the email comes in and saves Grandma.
That's so much darker than my head canon.
Yeah.
It's like they recovered and went home. Grandma's having an unusual time getting her memory back, and how she does eventually get it back is just wild.
Oh Lord.
It is. So then he comes back and he's like, oh, Grandma. She's like, who are you? He's like, I'm your grandson, blah, blah, blah. And
I
they're
don't
like,
remember you, but okay.
and he's like, I have 24 hours to get you back to do this. And she's like, well, he doesn't sound like a nice person. Well, okay, let's go. So they get in the sleigh and they go.
I think it describes her as she wears too much makeup, too much jewelry. She always cheats at cards, and she wants money.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
It's Cousin Mel. So they go back, and this is where the movie falls apart. I mean, if it hasn't fallen apart for you already, then this is where the shark gets jumped. It's game over.
To me, it's the dance sequence coming up.
Yeah.
That was the point.
So the sleigh
Okay.
is in full view, lands in front of this man's
It's like
headquarters.
high noon.
It's
in
like
the city.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
like 1:00 on a Tuesday, and here comes Santa and the elf, our friend and Grandma, and the sleigh and the reindeer flying. Woo! Just slides to a halt in front of the place, and the concrete's too hot for the reindeer, so they jump in a like water fountain or something nearby. And so Jake goes upstairs. He's like, I'm gonna go. And Santa comes along, doesn't he? Santa comes along.
He tells the elf to watch, and the elf immediately kicks back his legs and closes his eyes.
Right. So then Santa and Jake go upstairs. Jake gets there first. Santa puffs in because he had to obviously climb all the stairs.
It's like, man, I'm used to chimneys.
Yeah. And so Jake goes, Grandma's here. Grandma's Santa. It's Santa. And they're like, oh, Santa, you're the guy that hit her and killed her. And where's Grandma? And they go down and Grandma gone. But here's what happened. So Mel has an attorney. What is her attorney's name?
I am slime.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It really kind of is.
Yeah, it works. So they take Grandma and be like, "Oh, I'm gonna help you. I'm here to take you where you need to go." Yeah. They take her to some far off cabin
in the middle of the snowy woods.
Yeah, snowy woods. And then with no Grandma and they've got Santa, they're like, "Well, Grandma's still missing. You're alleged to have hit her and hurt her, killed her. You're going on trial." Santa goes on trial.
He gets put in jail.
I do remember that.
Yeah, so Santa goes on trial and Grandma's not produced. So then he's basically in jail and he's probably going to get convicted and everything like that. So then Jake is like, we got to find her, la la la. And there's this whole thing of like finding something. Or I don't know.
Oh, they use their dog.
Oh, yeah.
His name is Doofus.
Doofus. Yeah, the dog's name is Doofus.
Terrible.
But Doofus is a smart dog.
Yeah,
So
he's not a doofus.
Mel's bag, Doofus is smelling it, and they suspect that Mel has had some dealings. So he's like, oh, let's go find a Doofus. Now, before we get beyond what happens, this is when that sequence, is this when?
Oh yeah, they're going to talk about how rich they're going to be.
Is this Grandpa's going to sue the pants off Santa?
Yep, I think so.
Yeah, so it's Mel and her lawyer.
They start wearing these hats that look like fruit.
Basically like the Chiquita Banana Lady.
Oh, great.
And it is a little, their accents are a little problematic. And they're like, he's gonna sue the pants off Santa.
No.
And it goes on for like 2.5 minutes.
a lot of dancing.
And it's it's a fever dream. It's not like they're
This was my jump the shark moment where I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. It's like, wow, I'm guessing in the writer's room, they're like, okay, well, how do we tell this part of the story? Well, we should do a musical. It's got music and let's do it.
No.
Like, how late? How early? Like, was that like 2:00 in the morning?
Right.
Like,
we're going to do a
where were the
song
brains
and we're
at?
going to sue the pants off Santa.
Like, dude, there's a
yeah, it's
banana
great.
over
Let's do
there.
it.
He looked at a banana and they saw the symbol went hee hee hee.
Yeah, fever dream. Fever dream. So then Doofus and Peter is his name? They find the thing. They sneak in. Oh no, they
They lure out. They dress up like a ranger. That
with
was a
the
pretty
help
good
of the elf
disguise.
who came ahead and just like found him and said, "Oh, I came as soon as I could."
Yeah.
So they basically, "Oh, there are your cars over there. Something's going on with it." And so then they jump in. They find Grandma, and they tell her, "You whatever. You're normal." Like she's like, "I have no idea what you're talking about."
No memory still.
So they're like, okay, we got to go. So they take Grandma and run. How they did this without the lawyer or Mel figuring it out, I don't know. But they take off, and there's no travel montage.
Okay.
It's just from the cabin to the city.
Yeah, they go to the store.
They go right to the store.
Okay.
So this woman who's been missing for 9 to 10 months
Yeah.
just waltz into the store.
They're trying to jog her memory. They do eventually jog her memory by her having her original fruitcake.
Yeah.
She
I
eats it by
knew
and
it.
it
And
comes
then
back.
everything is just like, oh my gosh, what am I doing here? Blah, 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 blah. And they're like, well, we got to go save Santa. So they run to the courtroom, and the jury is returning the verdict, and they're about to say that he's guilty.
Well, yeah.
And then they bust in and they go, he's not guilty. I'm alive. He didn't do it. And it becomes this whole thing of like, okay, well, cool, but he still left the scene of an accident without leaving a note. And
Yeah.
but they had found a note at the cabin that Santa had written. They're like, no, she did write a note, and here it is. And so it just becomes this whole like Perry Mason parody of like, no, this is what's happening. Here's what's going on. No, ha.
My
ooh,
favorite
ha.
part is when I think they arrest Mel. They said, that's what you get for being selfish and stupid.
Yeah.
Period.
So Mel gets her comeuppance. She gets arrested. She confesses to the whole thing, and I think Peter is like, and she finally like she confesses each thing,
Yeah.
and so finally she's ruined, and she's taken away.
And Mr. I want to buy everything is like, actually, I just want to franchise your store.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm gonna help you. You can read it, you can run it, you can lead it, and do all the things. And then they're like, oh yay, happy ending. And then that's basically how the movie ends.
Wow.
What an awesome movie for children.
For real.
Oh
I mean, you
no,
got-
there's a song, Grandma's Killer Fruitcake, which I forgot about. I did not know that there was a song, Grandma's Killer Fruitcake.
You missed this. Should we listen to it? Should we pause and listen to this song?
No,
I'm scared.
you should be. As Yoda says, you will be. You will
No.
be.
Bottom line, don't eat fruitcake. I think that's the moral of the story.
Yeah. So it is a wild movie. Yeah, and his sister eventually comes around to liking him and being okay with him because he saved the family and
Oh.
everything. It's and there's so much that we didn't talk about, like when Mel announces that they won the lottery. They're like, "Oh, we won the lottery! We won the lottery!" And it's like, you know, Mel, she's not trustworthy. You're believing her because you're all about the money. His parents are idiots. They're dumb as
Literally, though.
dumb as rocks. So then when she's like, "Oh no, I got the power of attorney," and they're like, "Oh no," I'm just like, "Oh my gosh, y'all are just
Get
special."
it
And
together.
then poor grandpa's a little senile, would you say?
Yeah, so there's probably, just to shift into counselor's lane,
Oh, Lord.
I think there's some illusion, and I don't know if they intended this or it was a plot mechanic maybe, but Grandpa's got some dementia going on. He doesn't
Yeah.
remember everything. And he's not too upset about Grandma being gone.
He's not all with it. Like the kid goes out the door. Okay, Grandpa, I'm going to the North Pole to get Grandma. Okay, bye. Have a good time.
Oh, thanks for telling me. See you later.
Like,
Grandpa,
Yeah.
get it together.
how would you diagnose him based on that interaction?
Well, probably definitely dementia.
Yeah. There's some things going on. Anyway.
Well, you got to think like in the song, it's like, as for me and Grandpa, we believe.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe Grandpa just full on believed him. Like, all right, go.
So the difference
her
is,
But then
to
why
the
didn't he
North
go
Pole.
to the North Pole?
this movie was made with a limited budget, so I'm guessing they probably
And
had
it's
to,
like very short. It's like what, 30 minutes or something like that.
it's a short
But
one.
it's packed with so much.
Yeah, there is a lot that happens, and we didn't talk about all of it because it is significant. So yeah, and
It
Grandma,
was very entertaining.
yeah, Mrs. Claus is in there somewhere. She does some things, and
Okay.
Not much.
we
but
get
she's in there.
some stories from her. She gets a newspaper headline: Santa prison or Santa in jail, accused of murder or something. I don't even know what it was. Anyway, so she's like, "No, Santa's in jail, no."
And then he gets out and she's like cuddling with them.
Yeah.
That's about it.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so here's the thing: the difference between the movie and the song is in the song, Grandma dead.
Yeah.
She died. She
But in the
died.
movie, she just has bad amnesia, which is why I said I feel like this is an improvement because it makes it a little less dark.
But
Oh,
with
no.
all the other stuff, it's dark.
Especially if you trip it like Aaron does. Absolutely.
bring me the nightmare fuel of grandma getting hit by a reindeer and dying. Let's bring some heat in the holidays. Let's do this.
And I love that
Don't
it's
kill
the fruitcake.
grandma.
What?
I just love that it's the fruitcake that makes the reindeer run her over.
It becomes like reindeer nip.
Yeah,
That's what they call
it.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I got you.
And then at the end of the movie, she pulls out the bag. with
Everyone
the-
else hates it except the reindeer. The reindeer are like,
At the end of the movie, she pulls out the spoiled fruitcake with the bad ingredient, and then as Santa and
they
his
bring in a reindeer into court.
yeah. Yeah, and he goes, "I'm
I
sorry,
was
man."
getting Miracle on 34th Street vibes.
Yeah.
I was like, this is just like the movie.
And the reindeer speaks, and they all hear him.
Oh,
Again, this movie's
Wow, that laugh.
this movie is wild because it's never referenced again. Like we don't get any like the dog can't speak, but the
reindeer can. Nobody
the
believes it. Oh, yeah,
has
reindeer can
and they
talk.
believe him. They're not like speaking animal. What's going on? They're just like
I hate to say it, it's kind of like a Pinocchio moment.
yes.
The logic doesn't line up.
Hey, Geppetto! The ghost of Pinocchio, of Polly Shore's Pinocchio, returns like a ghost of Christmas past
No.
or Christmas future.
Oh, no.
No. That's a definite no.
No. Anyway,
Hard pass.
so there you go. And so at the end of the movie, she pulls out the bad fruitcake, and then they're like, "No, Grandma, no!" Because the reindeer come screaming back,
And bam.
and they run her over again.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Did we not learn?
I think she survives this one
Maybe.
intact without memory loss. Anyway, so that's the movie. You can't find it really anywhere. There's somebody uploaded it on YouTube in like 12 parts, which is what we said
Yeah.
last night.
Otherwise, you have to spend like $50 on a DVD.
Yeah, so it is a super.
What?
Yeah, it's super rare. It is not available. It has been, and you kind of. This is what happens with a lot of those 2000s kind of like low end productions, is they get stuck either in licensing hell or they just aren't able to be commercially available because they're probably tied up in whatever. Anyway, it's a wild one. It's. I would put it like if I'm ever going to watch a movie, because I laughed several times. I enjoyed this. I was like, at every turn, I was like, that's really happening. Oh, okay. We're suing the pants off Santa. Good song with Chiquita Banana dancing. Okay. Yeah. That's culturally relevant at the time, apparently.
No.
Lots of questions. Lots of questions. And so, yeah, there you go. There's your movie. There's a movie to add to the stack of why did this get made?
We had to have a visual. That's why.
in the 2000s. Like, if it was made like in the 80s, okay, cool, I get it. Like, the song, whatever.
I feel like that was a song we were singing on the regular though. Like,
Oh,
and
because
that's during Christmas.
it's a fun song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Well,
absolutely
you got to
adore it.
think like most of Christmas like TV shows and specials are all based off a Christmas song.
That's true.
The Little Drummer Boy,
Oh,
Rudolph,
Rudolph, yeah.
Jack
Frosty
Frost.
the Snowman,
Yeah,
White Christmas.
I was going to say, yeah.
they
So-
were like, "Oh wait, we didn't do Grandma Got Ran Over yet."
Let's do it.
Coming next summer, I want a hippopotamus for Christmas.
I actually would watch
I love that song. I would watch it.
Oh, I love it too. It's my favorite. Only hippopotamus will do. No rhinoceroses.
I actually want to see the consequences of that because none of these. It's not a good idea.
It would be it would be a light
I was
horror
listening
movie.
with my foster dog. She goes, "Aren't they? Don't they like hurt people?" And I'm like, "Yeah, they're really aggressive."
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So yeah, it would
Just
probably
needs to want a polar bear for Christmas.
it would be a light horror movie probably.
Yes.
Yeah,
Have
they're
you
like the
ever
only
wanted a
carnivorous
hippopot-
bear. They'll
Right.
eat you.
Have you ever wanted a hippopotamus for Christmas this summer? It would probably be like a who would be the kid star in that movie? Oh God. It would probably be Macaulay Culkin if he was still a kid.
I was thinking that too.
Macaulay Culkin is.
I was thinking about Shirley Temple, it from the past.
Oh,
yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah. There you go. There's your nightmare fuel. Hippopotamus for Christmas. From
Moo Dang Attacks.
Okay.
You don't know Moo Dang?
No.
It's like the little baby hippo that everybody loves.
Oh
Just let 'em-
yes. Okay, so for context,
Oh, Lord.
then we'll get into our intro, and then we'll actually do the main show that we're going to talk about today. I gotta watch our clock.
Yeah, we got a time crunch.
Time crunch. We're on a time. What's that game? Time Crisis. There you go. We're coming full circle. It's that arcade game in arcades where it's Time Crisis, and
Yeah.
you're on. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so where are we going with? I just went somewhere and I lost.
Moo
it.
Dang.
Thank you.
The baby hippo.
So there's a baby hippo. He's in China, correct?
Taiwan, I think.
Taiwan, somewhere. Yeah,
Somewhere like that.
Taiwan. Anyway, so Mudang is a baby hippo, and he is or she is adorable and terrifying. She is small, and she bites. So her zookeepers have to wear plastic like thick galoshes.
Is this real?
Yes,
Yes.
it's
Oh
real.
my gosh.
Mudang.
I thought you were just like a
No.
movie or a video game or.
I mean, it'll probably be made into a movie eventually. But
ahead.
Mudang she's like, she'll bite full on, like try and get her mouth around a zookeeper's leg.
No.
And she's basically this like crazed toddler hippopotamus. And people love her because she's so cute. And they like have to keep her like always like
She sounds like the rabbit in Monty Python.
a little
Yeah,
bit.
it's cute,
Yeah.
but
But-
also deadly.
Yeah. So they have to keep her watered all the time. She's always been sprayed down.
I'm here for this. I can kind of see why you love it.
Yeah.
It's
So
gonna-
she's been taking the internet by storm. They've the zookeeper actually planned her social media presence before she was born because he's like, people are gonna love this little baby hippo, and I'm like,
that's pretty smart.
dude's smart. So they I don't know if they have a Mudang camera or Mudang cam, but they've got a whole bunch of.
Can we link it to this podcast?
Huh?
Can we link it to this podcast?
Sure, if I can find the Mudang, webcam that they probably put up or will put up. Anyway, yeah, Mudang is fun.
This this article I'm seeing, it says Mudang the baby pygmy hippo is no longer a source of joy.
What?
No, that's so sad.
What
It
did
only,
it do? Sever a limb?
it only took a couple days.
Well,
Get
I
too
mean,
big.
probably got too big.
Yeah, but so a pygmy means she's super small, but she'll grow eventually, as all animals and creatures do. All right, well, that was a fantastic opener of,
How would you rate that film, Aaron?
as like here's the thing. So
This
there's
is our foster daughter's favorite
Yeah.
Christmas movie.
Oh,
so
Oh my god.
so as a movie, if we were to take a principal approach, I'd be like, okay, like a 5.5, whatever. But when you think about it, so we talk about campy movies, right? Cult classics, movies
Yeah.
that become a part of our childhood that we continue to watch, we continue to return to, and they really are terrible movies. Like they're just okay, this is a bad film, but you love watching it
There's
because
something about it.
it's just so much fun. Like,
Yeah.
So like Ernest Saves Christmas.
oh,
I was
yes.
thinking about
It
that.
is not an Academy Award-winning film by any stretch of the imagination, but it is Jim Varney at his ultimate best. And it's the Christmas story through the eyes of Ernest. And he, him and Vern and his all his friends, like, it's a madcap adventure. So, like, if you look at it through that lens, I would give this movie like an 8 or a 9.
Yeah, I
just
was
for
gonna
the
say an
pure.
8 too.
I mean, I
It was fun.
I'm
we were
probably
all
going to
laughing.
find a way to buy it or find a way to get locked into it so that I can stream it again. And just for the songs alone, like just
Elvis
for that,
song is great.
yeah, it's so yeah, it's a
The banana song can take a hike.
Chiquita Banana Girl. Yeah. So there you go. There's your. So next week, prepare yourself for homework for your favorite Christmas movies. A list of your favorite Christmas movies.
I think we've done that.
We've done this, Aaron.
Let's do it.
we've done that.
We're gonna do it again.
Do it again. Maybe
They
it's
might
changed.
change.
It might change. So also do some
Because
research.
I specifically remember Aaron rolling his eyes at half of mine.
Yeah.
Because I was like, 8 Crazy Nights,
Well, yeah.
Bad Santa. He's like, ugh.
But see, like he just brought up one that I didn't even think about when we did it before, like Ernest Saves
Christmas,
Christmas.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that movie.
So there.
I wouldn't mind us reviewing that one.
Heck yeah.
I would like to actually do yours, Prancer, that you talked about.
Oh, Prancer. It's sad though, but it's really good.
Is it like Old Yeller? They take him out back and shoot him.
No, but because Prancer basically brings the family together, so it's there's this whole dynamic, and it's
Sure.
yeah.
Okay.
I don't know where we would find it.
We'll put
I
Prancer.
know we found Grandma got run over by a reindeer. We could the Christmas
Find
miracle can happen again.
Yeah, we can do it. All right, we'll put. Let's just decide now. Let's put Ernest Saves Christmas.
Yeah, I'm
For
down.
next week.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
Let's do it. All right, fantastic. All right, when we come back, we're going in an entirely different direction from the
Yes.
holidays.
We
Dracula. No, not Dracula's a character. It's not the title.
Van Helsing is coming up next here on Nerds by Screenlight. We'll be right.
Get nerdy with me. Talk nerdy to me. Get nerdy with me. All I really need for you to do is just please
I can stop.
talk to me. Talk nerdy to me.
All right, we're back to Nerds by Screenlight, and so the movie is Van Helsing. It is starring a
lot of people.
A lot of people.
Literally.
Everybody that you wouldn't. And again, when did this movie come out?
2004.
So 2004. So we're still in that post that 2000s
Early
ish.
2000s.
It's only
Yeah.
4 years after Grandma got run over.
Literally.
There's the tie.
They're in the same universe.
it
That's
is.
what we're doing. That's what's happening. So Hugh Jackman, in his early 2000s vibe, before he becomes super famous and becomes the guy he is now, this was a fun. I love this movie because it's campy, right? But there are certain things that I'm just going to be like, what the heck? It's similar to this. So this movie could have had a sequel, but it was the reception and the initial run was not good. And so it derailed the sequel that was planned even further. So that it never was going to see another sequel because it did so poorly. Now, the reason why it did so poorly is we'll get to that. It's kind of like Russell Crowe and Tom Cruise and The Mummy. They were trying to restart the Universal monster kind of period.
Yeah.
I had forgotten a couple of things in this movie, so it feels like this was an attempt at that, and it obviously didn't go well, and neither did The Mummy with Tom Cruise and Russell Crowe and everybody else. So it seems to be an ongoing theme. They can't get their monster movies right. All right, so we begin.
In black and white.
Black and white, my favorite kind of show, my favorite kind of movie.
I love it. We're at Castle Frankenstein in Transylvania.
Yeah.
In like 1887 or something. Yeah.
Like, this is the town, not the town to be.
This movie definitely...
Like the houses are really cheap, but there's a reason.
This movie definitely had its ideas and was like, we're just going to do it.
Yeah.
We're going for it.
Never mind what actually happened in the historical elements of these characters. Nope, we're putting them together in a mixer.
There are two Frankensteins.
Yes.
Oh, man. So much of this movie just irked me. Okay, let me start by saying, I've never, up until a month ago when we originally planned to do this episode, I never saw the ending of this movie.
Yeah.
And I had forgotten the ending.
And I know why.
Kind of just collectively blacked it out.
Yeah, there's a certain scene. I'll just say it. The masquerade, the ball.
Yeah.
Right after that, my brain just goes, done. That's it.
Yep.
That's the end of the movie for me.
Here's the thing about this movie that I liked a lot is there's moments where it really does well. Mm-hmm. You're like, wow, this was great. That was more of that, please. And then the next scene, you're like, no, bad doggy, bad. You just want to spray bottle the damn thing. You're like, come on, what were you thinking? But then they do another good moment. You're like, oh my gosh, yeah, that's what we needed. And then you're like, no, back in the corner, back, put the dunce cap on. Bad movie, bad. So it just, I'm with you on this, Phil. Like the masquerade situation, we'll get to it, but there's just disappointing plot turns where it's like, okay, what now? Now what? Okay, all right, well this. What? Okay, whatever. So we start with Dr. Frankenstein and the Frankenstein monster, and Dracula is involved. Mm-hmm. So Dracula's been funding him, apparently, for all of this. And
which we don't find out why until way later.
Right, and even then, that whole thing, it's just... Anyway, I got
those cocoon things.
Yeah.
Gross.
I don't want to remember them.
Blech.
It's a little bit alien, I thought.
Yeah.
The alien egg sacs.
I know, I saw that, and I was. We'll get to it, but I got to that scene.
The eggs from the bad Godzilla.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh.
Why does everything back then just have to be ooze?
Yes.
I don't. Apparently those were the years of that.
What's the thing? It's like that thing with little boys and boogers. Is that what's going on, Zoe?
Maybe.
No, Vicki, you're right. There is literally I wouldn't call it a board game. It's similar.
Yeah,
it's called Ooey Louie.
Yep.
And you gotta pull the boogers out of this dude's nose.
What?
Yeah.
What?
You don't remember that?
Aaron's face.
Well, I missed out on a cultural touchstone in my life.
I'm so glad you did.
It's a little bit because you're 80s. It's definitely a 90s kids thing.
Okay. Well, I missed it. Apparently, I'm okay with that. I guess.
Zoe's showing you.
What in the world?
It's $40 now.
Apparently that game slaps, or picks.
Oh, no.
But okay.
Anyway, so we get Igor. He's a part of this.
Because you told me that it's the guy from The Mummy, I could just not unsee it the whole time.
Right. Yeah. So Igor is back. He's doing the thing. He
turns on Dr. Frankenstein.
It's all about the money.
Yeah, all about the money. And Dracula says, "You can't kill me, Victor." And then, yeah,
And he like runs off with the monster and
right. And then crashes and burns and dies. And
They make up. Who were we watching? What's his name? Nostalgic Critic or whatever.
yeah, the nostalgia critic.
So, and during that scene, he makes a joke about like he brings in the mummy and he's like, "Oh, Imhotep," because he like throws him into the fire, but then he comes back to life, kind of like the mummy does. And
yeah,
just that's already sorry. The connections.
yep. So then, what happens next? That's it.
I think we flash back to all of a sudden we're in Paris. And it's Notre Dame.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
he's chasing Jacqueline Hyde.
Okay,
Well,
so
it's
I
just-
have a trivia. The character who played Frankenstein was a body double for the CGI Mr. Hyde for the fight scenes.
What?
Okay, that
There
makes
you
sense.
go. There's my trivia.
I gotta say too, I wish this movie just stayed black and white.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think it would have held up a little better.
Because you could actually see more in the black and white scene
Yeah.
than you can in this.
Well, because
Hyde
it's really
and
dark. Yeah.
This Van Helsing Hyde fight.
Yeah. So the music in this movie slaps.
Yep.
Absolutely love the soundtrack. It is a brilliant, brilliant soundtrack.
They love to play that one song through the whole thing.
Yes.
But it's good.
And I'm not mad about it too. I was like, yeah, that tells me, okay, I feel good.
We're going somewhere.
We're going somewhere, even though we're really not. So the CGI falls apart.
Yes.
It is not good in this movie at any point.
No.
And I think that's part of why it failed so miserably.
I think it's decent with the brides.
Eh.
They're okay. I agree with that. But like the Jekyll and Hyde, I hate that scene because you can totally tell.
The
Yeah.
brides are terrible. The baby vampires
The
are
children.
terrible.
Oh my God.
The worst is the werewolf.
Yeah.
I feel like you didn't even like him walking on the walls and stuff.
That was dumb.
And because it wasn't, it was
Like, why? Let's just have a conversation hanging upside down.
Well, they're bats.
I know.
but the thing is,
I think it makes sense to me.
it happened once.
Yeah.
And that was it. It was played for effect, not for intentionality.
Do you have no heart?
Yeah.
No. I love that line. He's so
Okay, I can
honest.
see that.
Yeah.
I will say, the actor who plays Dracula, he does an okay job.
Yeah.
I mean, again, we're comparing him to Bela Lugosi. There's no comparison. You just can't. Like Bela Lugosi is just the originator of the role, and so yeah.
The thing is, like, these are all great actors. It's
Yeah.
just bad writing.
Yeah.
We get like no like backstory or anything until like at the very end, and by that point, it's just dumb. Like you're just doing it just to make a werewolf fight Dracula. Like that's all you're doing. Spoiler alert.
And the ending's terrible.
Yeah, I had forgotten.
Yeah, we'll get there.
So Van Helsing accidentally kills
Jekyll and Hyde.
Jekyll and Hyde.
Accidentally.
Yeah, he wanted to bring him in alive.
I don't think he really did, though.
I think
That's just his vibes.
his killing.
That's why I'm a murderer.
Yeah.
He's the killing vibe. There's a whole nother. There's an album for you.
Yeah.
This is gonna sound really dumb, but my brain went into like weird mode, like Eric Clapton's Killer Vibe.
No.
I'm like, that would be a fantastic little album.
Oh, my Lanza.
People would be like, "What has happened to Eric Clapton? He's a little angry."
Just a little.
So Helsing flees.
Yep.
Goes to the Vatican where we meet Zoe's favorite character.
Carl.
Yeah. Carl is a favorite.
He's the best.
I could not help it. I was commenting when they were down below and he's showing all the gadgets. I'm like, okay, this is James Bond and Q.
Yes.
Yep.
And it turns out that was on purpose. Hugh Jackman was actually in the running to be James Bond at the time, and I think they
really?
were trying to maybe help him get. Part.
Okay, I could see it.
But I was like, okay, this is pure. Like, this is what's happening. He's Q.
Yeah.
Which I wasn't necessarily mad about, but I was also like, you're copying James Bond.
I gotta say too, the arsenal
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
this movie is awesome. The saw blades,
Yeah.
very inconvenient. Awesome though. The dude's got like a Gatling crossbow.
Yeah.
That's just automatic.
Yeah.
And what else he got? He's got a grappling hook. He's got a cross.
Yep.
That just looks cool. It doesn't do anything. It melts. Like,
And it
It's-
pops open.
yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Oh, and the light bomb.
Yeah.
I almost forgot about the light bomb because it's just a small detail and it's only used one time.
It's like, I don't know when we're going to
And-
use it. And I'm like, they're vampires.
Hello.
You'll find a moment.
See, that's the thing for me of like when he gets there, he doesn't really know how to kill the vampires, and I'm
Right.
like, you're Van Helsing. Like,
Right.
what
Well,
do you mean?
You know
why?
everything.
He
You
has
know-
no memories.
You know why he doesn't know?
What?
Because he literally says, vampire, werewolf, gargoyle, what's the difference?
There's a lot of differences on how you kill them.
But he apparently doesn't. So here's my theory.
And it's his job.
My theory is that this is still Van Helsing, maybe in his early-ish years. And again, with the sequel possibly being planned, my guess is that they're like, okay, this is Van Helsing in his early years, like because in a lot of the movies, Van Helsing is an older gentleman who has been searching and hunting down monsters and Dracula for years. In the movie we watched with Van Helsing, he was an older professor, but he had been hunting Dracula, and he had been hunting and trying to put together pieces of paper to verify who these creatures were and whatever. So maybe this is an early Van Helsing, and obviously the ending I think is a very big proponent of like, hey, he loses someone, and then he's going to pursue destroying all the bad guys now because he's whatever. So
There's a very, like, heaven and hell, God and devil
yeah.
force versus force here.
Yeah.
Because apparently Dracula is like son of the devil, and then we find out that later on Van Helsing is Gabriel. Ugh.
Well, he starts calling him Gabriel, and I
Yeah.
was like, is this what I think it is? And it was.
And it usually is. They're the fact that the movie lays it on that thick, you're just like, okay, we now know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Why
You
did
just called him Gabriel.
right? We can put
Hey, there's a tie into the season, everybody.
yeah. It's because Gabriel in the Bible stories, Gabriel's the one who came to Mary
Yeah.
and told her, hey, you're going to have a baby.
It was literally like the message in church today.
Again, my twisted mind is like coming this summer, Mary Hugh Jackman as
No.
Gabriel.
No.
And then Liam Neeson as Liam. What's the guy with the? I have a certain skill.
Yeah.
Liam
Liam
Neeson
Yeah.
as Joseph.
No.
I don't know who would have as Mary.
I was gonna say.
I don't know. Billie Eilish, maybe. I don't know.
Oh my god.
It would be a fantastic little movie.
No.
No,
Okay,
who would?
okay.
Oh no, like.
Okay, the girl in Dune. What's her name?
Oh yeah. Zendaya.
Her.
Zendaya.
I
as
can see
Mary.
that. I can
Yeah,
see that
right?
one. Okay.
Maybe Timothy Chalamet as Joseph.
No.
Okay, that's too
no.
much. Wait, they can't.
Too much.
Too much.
We went too far. We jumped several sharks to get there.
Like a whole school of sharks.
4 sharks out of 4. All right. So we
Sorry, back on target.
get to meet the Order. We got some backstory on Dracula.
Very little.
Yeah, very little. It seems like they give him enough information, but even
They're just like, he's been trying to get this, something about like this family and like they have to kill Dracula so
Yep.
that their souls can be free
Yep.
or something like that.
They're like
and,
cursed or something.
Yeah.
And then it's
like they
like-
did it to themselves.
Yeah.
and then
There's
it's
a reason they did it to themselves.
And it's like, here you go, here's your guns, here's your blades, off to Transylvania you go. And you get one of Zoe's favorite lines where it's like,
I don't want to go to Transylvania.
I love and so
Don't
like
blame you.
there's
want to go.
moments when like before this when Carl's like doing things and there's a guy back in back. He's like, God, Alan, great Alan, what are you doing, Carl? Like they're all like this is
yeah,
like,
because he's just setting off random explosions and like, dude, OSHA violations.
right. The Vatican does not allow OSHA inspections.
Well, and I love how he's like, well, I'm just a friar, so I can do more things.
oh yeah.
Yeah, he's like, I can curse.
Right?
He says, "Oh, you can't." He says, "You can't curse." He's like, "I'm just a friar. I can do whatever I want." And that
And then he says it.
He makes a
and he's
move
like,
on a villager.
Yes, he does.
So, like, what I love about that line and that arc is it gets used multiple times. It's not just a one-off. Like we're like, oh, okay, we're bringing it out again, and I appreciate the movie being intentional about having stuff actually matter throughout it. The rest of it can just take off. Anyway, so
We got a little fun fact about Carl.
Oh yeah, he's the guy from 300, which I just found out today.
And he's in Lord of the Rings.
yep, he's
Faramir.
Faramir.
Oh my god. Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this movie is
Has so many
littered
people.
with awesome people, and
Yeah.
we'll get to the girl later, but she is my queen from Underworld.
Oh,
Yep.
I hate that.
She was in my favorite
you hate that?
romantic comedy with John Cusack, which I am now blanking on, which is amazing.
Serendipity?
Serendipity. Yep.
Ah, I got it.
And Kate Beckinsale has been in so many Underworld movies.
Yeah.
So
At
many.
least the first 3 are good.
And
I
then-
don't know if I've seen all of them. I know the first 3 are pretty.
Zoe's
pretty
shaking her
They're
head.
just boring
She
to me.
refuses to watch them with me. I want to know why she hates them, and she's like, "It's boring."
They're boring. They're not like action packed and like.
there is
What?
Because isn't the director Kate Beckinsale's husband?
I don't know.
I can't remember if it's her or if it's Rebecca Romaine Stamos from or Rebecca whatever her name is from the Resident Evil movies, and she plays the lead character, whatever. Not Rebecca Romaine Stamos. Sorry, whoever the lady is. Anyway, moving on. I'm gonna get us mired in confusion. So Kate Beckinsale, back to our main lady. She is she's here.
Yes, she is.
She's here.
That is the thing. She is. She is here. we
Um,
don't find out much about her until
I
way
want to know how her
later.
curls get to be not that frizzy.
I know.
Is it a wig? What products do you have?
And they're in the
moving
middle
on.
of the snow.
So the
Right?
the nostalgia critic was like talking crap about Van Helsing. Like, I bet he's like, where does she get her shampoo?
I was wondering that. But I have curly hair. Internet may not know that I have curly hair, and
She does
it
have
was a
beautiful.
journey in my life to find a product that like works for curly hair.
Yes.
It is as part of it.
Sponsors, reach out.
Maybe it's Maybelline. Maybe it's
Makeup.
I don't know. What is the oil of Olay?
That's a skincare product.
I don't know.
Wow.
I have something. Don't worry.
Like herbal essence. That's,
there-
where,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
where you should have gone.
There's a commercial for Van Helsing. A tie-in they forgot. Do you want to look like Kate Beckinsale's character in
Man, they should have. They could have made
Sponsored
some
by-
bank.
Herbal Essences?
They were popular around the time this movie came out.
They
I
were,
think.
yes.
They're still on
That's
shelves.
what I use.
I don't know how they're doing these days, but Herbal Essences, that was the thing.
It was.
Okay, yeah. So my favorite line is, "What in the name of Allah is wrong with you?" In that scene, it's like, "What in the name of Allah is wrong with you?" He's like, "I'm sorry." And okay, so then the brother situation, we get that. We get a scene change. The CGI wolf. Blech.
I have trivia. That wolf apparently is supposed to change into an old man when he went to human form. He's gray because he's old.
Oh, that makes sense.
That's all.
This
Okay.
is the brother, correct?
He gets bit or
Yeah,
dies.
it's the
We
wolf
see-
that bites the
Okay,
brother.
so we skipped over the whole bride fight, whatever. That's fine.
Oh, I don't know.
It's just action, shooty, bang, bang.
Yeah.
One of the brides gets killed.
Yeah, but Van Helsing learns how to actually kill the vampires.
So it's useful. I
Which
guess
he
we
should have
can't get
already
excited.
known. Like,
Well, you would think the Vatican would have told him that too, but I mean, whatever.
You're supposed to know all the things.
Yeah.
Apparently they don't.
Or they didn't want to tell him. They wanted him to discover it. Okay, I'm getting into conspiracy theories. We need to
Well,
stop.
they should also know that he's Gabriel, in my opinion, right? Like,
You would think.
Yeah.
the Vatican.
See,
yeah.
I think they knew. I don't think they're telling him.
that's not okay.
You heard it here first.
So yeah, he knocks
Vatican,
out.
don't come at me.
What is
No, this is a whole nother universe. We can't. They can't. Like,
what is Kate's character's name?
Great question.
I don't know.
I
curly
want to say
hair.
Victoria.
It's not
it looks
Victoria.
I
like
can
a
see why.
Victoria.
It's funny though. 'Cause that's
It's
actually my
Princess
real
Anna.
name.
Princess Anna.
Like
Princess-
Frozen. Remember, that was the joke.
Okay. Well, anyways, he knocks her out for some reason, and then
Wait, hold on. Where the heck are we right now?
the brother that comes and
Oh, okay, yeah.
attacks her while she's sleeping
Right.
because Van Helsing knocked her out. He's like, I'm
Wait,
going to help you.
what have we done? We are going so far ahead
We
of
really,
my...
we
That's
really are
how this
jumping.
movie does. Like
It does kind of go.
Exactly.
It
from
goes
everything.
from the bride's
Okay.
attack.
It doesn't
to-
really stop.
No.
Okay, so we get the prequel with the brother being attacked and then him disappearing.
Yep.
And then we're back to the soundtrack, coming back, the journey. There's no CGI in this journey with the horses. That's brilliant. I love it. And
The
then,
landscaping shots are awesome.
oh my gosh,
All
Yeah.
the sets are awesome.
Cinematographer was like on point, and yeah, absolutely. The set design, brilliant. They built it's great.
I think all the sets are great until the very last shot of the movie.
All right, more trivia. The place Van Helsing and Anna fight Dracula's three brides is where Dracula from 1931, Frankenstein from 1931, and Wolfman from 1941 were filmed. It's called The Court of Miracles. it's part of the studio tour at Universal Studios Hollywood.
Interesting.
Yeah, I thought so.
So we now are at the village. So the village arrival is where we're at, and this is where like all the villagers are kind of coming after Van Helsing, and they're like, "Who are you? What are you doing here?"
You don't trust outsiders.
And I love Carl's is like, "Is this how you normally?"
And then I was like, I kind of get it.
Yeah.
You've had a lot of trauma.
Yeah,
It won't stop.
yeah.
It won't quit.
So then the battle begins, and there's a cow throwing. The
Yes,
sun,
there
the
is.
sun brings a halt to it, but then the sun goes away, and then
One girl bites the dust.
yeah,
And
C-
another
the, C-
one's
the,
gone.
C- the CGI. I made notes about just it's terrible.
It's the way it's edited too.
Yeah,
I will just say, when I first watched this back in like 2004, I thought it was super cool that they made them like actually turn into bats. Like I thought that was really like, instead of just having them as like human
monster
flying
bats,
things.
yeah. Okay. So there are. This is an issue. Oh, where the heck are we? So then they
Go to her house.
They go to her house.
And that's what he was talking about.
So then, so
I
we
think
we also
you guys say house. This thing is a castle.
It is
It's a fortress.
so there's something interesting. So there's we get a spotlight of Dracula back at his castle, and I call them the orcs of Dracula, but apparently they were actual creatures that are mythologically attached to Dracula.
Oh.
And they're like his
Is it the Dorger thing?
Yeah.
All right. This is apparently they're little people from Germanic folklore.
yeah.
Interesting.
So they're not
So
just
Oompa
like-
Loompas.
yeah, yeah.
Oh no.
That was the joke from what we
Another
watched.
nostalgic critic, but it makes sense though, because what she said,
How does he build all this stuff? He has to have his helpers, which
Yeah.
were the Draeger. And so there actually is like a historical literary context to these dorky looking creatures. I'm just like, really? This is the best you got? Okay.
it also makes great video game fodder
Yeah.
for the game that they
Oh,
put
I
out.
had a terrible thought come in my mind. Did any of you guys see that movie, Beastmaster?
No.
Beastmaster.
No,
Which
it kind
one?
of reminds me that there's
Like-
more than one.
Well, it's like
I just
they're-
have memories of my parents watching this and coming in as a kid and being a little traumatized. It's where those creatures kind of look like them.
Okay, no, I was thinking
Ah.
of
You're thinking
Okay,
of
something
moving on,
Transformers
we
Beastmaster or something?
Yeah, because there's a whole bunch of like beast things and
Yeah.
yeah.
There you go.
No.
Oh, they give
No,
people
I have
brain
not seen
damage
that.
and turn them into monsters. It's awful. Moving on.
So yeah, there's Igor is back. And then, we get back to What's Her Bucket, to Princess Anna and Van Helsing, and I made the note. I said I love the interplay between the two of them. They do definitely, the chemistry is there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's absolutely brilliant. We love it.
It's right in your face the whole time.
Yeah, it's
It's not subtle at all.
no, it's not. They're definitely like some near misses on kisses that we're supposed to probably like. We're like, oh, are they gonna do it? No, they're not gonna kiss. Oh, they're gonna get. No, they're gonna kiss.
Slow burn. Is that the word for that?
Yeah.
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 So this moment where he knocks her out or drugs her
Yeah.
and then like leaves. And then the monster shows up and I'm like, was this the point? Was this the plan? It doesn't seem like it was the plan. And I was so confused during
That's
this scene.
apparently a question a lot of people have. Because
I just think he wants to be the one to kill Dracula. He doesn't want her to do it. That's
I
just
work
kinda,
on my own.
yeah.
But he knows there's danger. Like, why would you leave her alone in the
Well, she said she's fine. I mean,
Okay.
that was like her biggest thing. Like, I don't need you.
I was like, okay, I will leave you
How was that
alone.
again? How was that again?
I don't know. I can't do it again.
I don't need you.
It's the terrible movie trope where you have a lady in a movie that says, I could do this all by myself, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And then they have to be rescued 30 minutes later.
Well,
into
and then
the
you'll
movie.
see what really happens at the end.
Yeah, so then, oh my gosh. The ending, we talk about it, we'll get there. So then she wakes up, and then there's things, and then...
There's things.
The werewolf.
yeah, the werewolf.
Her brother.
Who is her brother. And the transforming scene is just... I know.
Passable.
I know what they were trying to do.
Yeah, they were trying, like, they wanted to have the character, they wanted the werewolf form to come from underneath the skin. The idea is that the beast comes from within.
Yeah.
But in appearance-wise, it was just like, oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was terrible. So that whole scene plays out, and then, of course, Carl with his line, "Ooh, it smells like wet dog. What's that? What's with the wet dog smell?"
Okay, that was a little... Did they Twilight borrow that again? You know they talk about that.
I'm sorry. 'Cause
You know,
he's
I
just
think-
the comic relief for me, and I
Yeah.
just love him so
Yeah.
much.
They probably use the same joke in Underworld.
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Well, this one did it first, and then
You got the I just call him the gravekeeper. He's out there digging a hole.
yeah,
That's
so,
a funny scene.
Yeah, so he's and Van Helsing walking around. He's like, oh, well, you measure you, I'm gonna see what's going on, and then the werewolf shows up and knocks him into the grave.
You never know when you need one.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I said into the grave with you.
Exhibit A.
And so she continues to protect her killer brother. Oh, don't kill him! Don't kill him! And I'm just like, ma'am.
You've done this. Your whole family's done
But and that really makes me mad because later when Van Helsing gets bit, she's like, "Oh, you're bit," and then like kind of runs away. And
Right?
I'm
I
like,
was like, ma'am.
"What, sir?
Yeah.
Figure it out."
In this way, yeah, there is that plot hole of like, you can't you pick a lane, please.
Yeah, make it make sense.
And yeah, because here's the thing: if she had let him kill her brother, we could still have the fight between Dracula,
Right.
And we wouldn't have the stupidity that we have later.
No, we have to have a werewolf fight Dracula. That's all we care about.
Apparently.
That was a scene from the Sony or whoever made this movie, their offices back in 2002 when they were just decided, oh, we're going to do a Van Helsing movie. We have to have, that would be so bad. That'd be so cool, man. We need to have yeah, that's probably what happened. We need to have a werewolf versus Dracula.
Yep.
Yeah, let's find our way to do that. And they did.
Oh, yep,
And
they
it's
did. They
terrible.
Did. Took them almost 3 hours to do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So then the lab is back alive because they have to figure out a way to make so that the children, the babies, the little batty babies, will live.
They're born dead.
Yep, because they're born and they don't live very long.
Thank goodness.
And then-
Way
Does
too
it-
many of them. What is there, like 1,000 at least?
Well, I mean, yeah, he's got 3 brides, so I mean,
yep.
can you
Yep.
It's
imagine?
because
I don't want to. I was like, oh no, they're like rabbits. Oh my gosh.
and it's like, well, it's because Dracula doesn't have a proper power source
Yeah.
for the babies.
Yep. He needs to have.
Because he's using her brother,
Yeah.
which isn't,
Working.
and he needs Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Because
The
Frankenstein.
other Frankenstein.
Yep.
I cannot believe this movie. Literally, Dr. Frankenstein. They call him Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Then the monster comes and they call it Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Don't.
Because it's supposed to be Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a thing that that Hollywood has done in the past where they've shortcut and they this is Frankenstein. No, that's Frankenstein's monster.
Like when I was a kid, like I referred to the monster as Frankenstein. But
Yeah.
when I would do that, people would be like, "Well, technically,
He's the Frankenstein's monster.
So now it just it's like
Irks
a
you.
pet. Yeah, it's a pet peeve.
Yep. And then something about being bent to the sea. Everybody who says that dies. It's an experiment. Eggs, lots of CGI, makes me angry.
Gooey.
Must warn somebody.
When I feel like that scene's like a setup, like you know what's going to happen because
Right.
they're zooming in on the egg behind them.
Yeah.
See, again, I was infuriated when we got to this scene. I just kept thinking about Alien.
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
like, hello,
Right.
Yeah.
get away from the eggs.
Yeah.
Stay away from the eggs.
No, let's open it.
I want to know what I'm dealing with.
I think at some point we get what's his bucket? We get who's our cue?
Carl?
Carl uses his I'm just a friar, has relations with the
Yeah, because he saves one of the.
he saves one of the villagers. And
Hey, but then he has an epiphany.
yeah, and he sees something that's in motion in a whatever portrait thingy.
and the cow is still inside the house.
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Forgot
Yeah,
about that.
yeah. When the baby vampires are attacking,
Oh, lovely.
it shows the cow inside the house just looking out. Like,
Yep. So then Dracula
And Van Helsing finally face off.
Yep.
kind
And he
of.
says, "Hello, Gabriel." The chain scene. I just wrote what?
The chain scene.
What is happening? He's whipping him with chains or something. I remember correctly.
Oh, the werewolf.
yeah. I think.
I know.
Because you see a lot of
Igor
things in
said something
shadowing.
like, "Do it to them before they do it to me," or something like
Oh yeah.
But there also is this comment made about, oh, the werewolf is the worst before its first full moon is done,
that. Yeah.
because they're so hard to control.
Yep.
Yeah. And then he.
That's when Van Helsing puts the cross in Dracula's face.
Yep.
And he grabs it and he melts it and he's like,
Which is crazy.
And then that's it. It doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yep. And then he talks to Gabriel. He's like, remember, 1422, I died. I was 1462. Into the blah, 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 blah. And so he's basically saying that Gabriel killed him. If you're in the audience, you're like picking up on what they're laying down.
Like,
pretty
oh, good,
quickly.
then I can do it again.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I would say.
So then I wrote into the water. So I don't know who went into the water.
So they're like standing on something and they fall in a hole.
Oh, okay.
Van Helsing and
Oh,
and
they're
Anna.
like this structure thing.
And that's another moment you think they're like gonna kiss
It's raining.
because he like puts his hat on her and they're having like a little drink and then they fall through the. It's
I
like
was
they're
like, why-
about to.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then they, like,
This is at the windmill.
Yeah, and it's like broken down.
and
I'm like,
then-
why are you standing here? It's
and
an
then
unstable
they-
structure. Yep, and you were falling.
Then they
Okay.
fall. They
found
find
Frankenstein's monster.
Well, he's Frankenstein in this movie.
Well,
And he looks
Like,
awesome.
okay, we can't win. Okay.
I know. Pick one.
Well, I'm going with what the movie did.
Okay.
It ain't my fault.
And then
Coolest looking Frankenstein,
yeah,
I think.
absolutely. Frankenstein explains why this is happening. They decide we've got to get Frankenstein to Rome. This is where things start to get a little like
You had to hide him, right?
yeah.
From Dracula.
So they're going to take him to Rome. But they don't get to Rome.
No.
They get to what is
They
it?
get Anna kidnapped, basically.
Yeah, so they get to Budapest.
Yeah, that's right.
So they get to Budapest, and there's attacks by the brides as they're on their way,
And the werewolf.
and the werewolf,
Her brother.
and so
Yeah.
does the brother finally die here or no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
And that's why she's all upset. And then she's like, oh, you were bitten. Bye.
yeah. So he gets bit by the beast.
Yeah.
And my question was, what was the point of all this? Because we get to Budapest,
The big overlaying question of most of this movie.
right?
There's just so much.
So we get to Budapest. I thought in my brain, my memory of the movie is they didn't make it to Budapest. The brides came and got and kidnapped and took them back to Transylvania. But we have to go to Budapest for reasons I don't
Is it on the way?
know. Well, ish. But they get to Budapest.
I like how Anna goes, you're on your own from here. These are the fastest horses. They can not even a werewolf can catch them.
and still catches him.
And she's with him.
Right.
You just said you're on your own.
Right.
Nothing can catch these horses.
Right.
You lied twice.
right. Liar. Pants on fire.
Plot hole, plot hole, plot
Yeah.
hole.
And then I think Carl asks, how many commandments can we break today?
Oh, good grief.
Well, Carl, you're
He's
not a
never
monk
gonna
yet.
get promoted.
You're a friar. You can break all the rules. Then we go to the masquerade, and I hate this scene. There's no point.
I don't hate it.
I like this scene.
Here's the thing: if
Face for the girls.
if it mattered,
Yeah.
See, that's what it is.
I would be like, great.
He's trying to make her his
But it
bride. Or
doesn't, because we get the result
But I feel
that
like
they.
that's part of who Dracula is. It's his ability to woo.
But okay, here's the thing: so the Summer Palace,
Yeah.
all of them are vampires, but then the magical light bomb blows them all up, and none of it matters anymore.
Well, we needed a chance to use the light bomb.
The writers
Yeah,
were like,
Jared.
yeah, because, okay, here's the thing. The writers were like, oh, yeah, we got this super powerful weapon. He can't save it to the end for Dracula. That would be too easy to do. Holy crap. Let's throw in this masquerade here and have him use it on all the innocent vampires.
a little Phantom of the Opera, too.
But
like
I'm with
the
Aaron.
mirror scene,
I'm with
like,
Aaron. This scene
Yeah.
does not need to happen because he could have figured out how to get to Dracula's castle without her
Yeah.
the whole time because the monk figured it out,
Yep.
basically.
Yep.
And he could have just went straight from her getting kidnapped to Van Helsing like talking to Carl and figuring out how to get to Dracula's castle, go there and save her. We didn't need the masquerade. It was literally just a way to use the light bomb.
Yep.
And it wasn't even that cool of an effect anyway.
All right, Zoe, why do we like this scene?
I really like the mirror scene.
Okay.
Okay, why did you like it?
Just
They hate it. Why do we like it?
because I don't know. It's just cool because he's like he doesn't show up, and then there she is, and then he's like,
Well, nobody shows up in the mirror.
Yeah. Because they're all
It's just like-
vampires.
I know, but like when we were talking about the original Dracula before, I remembered this scene specifically because
Yeah.
of him
Right,
not
the
showing
mirror,
up.
yeah.
We needed to see Hugh Jackman
And you get to
swing
see
in on
what
a
did you
rope.
call it? Dracula got the Riz.
Yes.
He does have the Riz.
He does have it in this movie. I was like, I can't deny it.
I think he is very attractive.
Yeah.
Personally,
I agree.
he could be my vampire. That's fine.
Okay. Well, enjoy
See, I'm
that.
looking at this and I'm like, you're attractive.
If
I,
it's straight-
you
if-
can't be my
Didn't we
vampire.
establish
but
this
I
with
was,
Bela
like, mad at
Lugosi?
myself.
Like, Aaron's telling me, like, watch out if she's ever around Dracula or vampires. I guess it doesn't matter which one.
Well, Aaron, I'm telling you, even if I do find the vampire attractive, I'm still gonna kill it.
Okay. Good call.
I'm like, you're still evil. I don't care.
Take that, Edward.
Yeah.
See, I don't like Edward.
See, yeah, he's toxic.
Well, that's a whole.
He's a creep.
That's a whole conversation for another.
We can't
podcast.
get on
Yeah,
that
we
right
probably
now.
shouldn't open that can of worms.
Twilight is a.
We've got 45 minutes.
Well,
Yep.
Phil would also not watch it. He hates Twilight with a passion.
There's something wrong with that writer.
She made her.
Wow.
She made her millions and billions. Not gonna be mad about that. As a struggling writer myself, I would love to be able to have that kind of that powerhouse in the leagues of J.K. Rowling. I'd love to have that. Okay, so
And this is where I officially checked out.
Oh, and this is also a sad
kid.
scene because they're like taking away Frankenstein.
yeah, that is
Yeah.
sad.
He's like, I will save you.
And he won't because he can't.
Well, because there's this whole discussion about how Frankenstein isn't necessarily evil.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, he says that right when they meet him. He's
Yeah.
like, he might be made from evil, but he is not evil, and I
Yeah.
cannot kill him.
Yep. So then the CGI horses, blah 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 blah.
Blah, blah.
Castle Dracula, werewolf, Igor, kiss.
Igor and Carl's
Yay.
fight makes me so mad.
Why?
Just because of how he keeps with the taser thing.
Trying to
I'm
poke him
"Ugh."
Yeah, it's not
on the
really-
bridge? That was
Yeah.
Can we
totally
just throw
not-
him off? Finally, we do.
He eventually does go.
It's a very long-winded scene.
Yes.
There's so many like chains and like pieces, and
Well, it's
they do all these weird flips.
It's
and there's
all
ice
CGI.
and-
Yes.
Oh my
It is
gosh.
all CGI. There is not a practical effect in any of that.
Which reminds me, the main criticism for this film when it was released is dark, loud, confusing, and having overblown CGI effects. Exhibit A. This scene.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know how you make it all look better?
Black
Keep
and
it
white.
black and
White,
white.
yeah, keep it black and white, and go practical.
Yeah.
People respond so much more to practical effects in this day and age.
Which I'm glad we're kind of getting back into that.
yes, it's definitely happening. I'm really excited
I
about
think
that.
a little CGI is okay,
Yeah.
but I am definitely team practical effect.
Yeah. On
But
the-
I think some CGI is okay.
On the CGI scale of what the heck were you thinking, Van Helsing is at the like higher levels of 9 and 10.
Agreed.
Of like what were no
It's too much.
bad movie. Spray it with water. Make it sit in the corner and think about what it's done. Okay, so
Yes, it's like a cat.
yeah. Well, you can spray water at a dog too. Bad dog. Bad dog.
My dog would not care. She'd look at me like, what are you doing?
Literally.
See, I had dogs growing up that loved water, and if you did that, they would open their mouths and like try to bite the water.
Trying to
and
eat
spray
it?
at them. Yep,
I
yep.
love when dogs try to eat water.
Sorry.
Speaking of eating water, there's no good transition. So I guess they
They're
kiss.
in water
Yes,
for a little
they,
bit.
They are. They do kiss apparently at some point finally here.
Yeah.
My notes become very scattered, and
I thought it was kind of
I
interesting how
understand
they got into.
like I said, that was my checkout
Yeah.
point.
Well, they find the thing that's missing on the freaking picture that her father stared at for centuries.
right, they found the
or
way in. They get in.
I don't understand how they found their way in. I don't understand the story, but it's like a one-sided mirror. That's all I remember.
Yep.
whatever. Yeah.
You,
Basically.
Okay.
you gotta love how back to their long flowing locks of hair. They enter Dracula's castle domain. The snow is blowing sideways. Their hair's not moving.
Yeah.
Oh, Hugh Jackman was wearing hair extensions. I don't
Really?
think- Yep.
Okay.
So even the snow was CGI. They
Yeah.
couldn't have even sprinkled
Come
styrofoam.
on, guys.
Couldn't have done it.
Curls frizz
Couldn't
with
manage
that
it.
kind of weather.
Yes.
Trust
So
me,
then
I know.
they find out about the cure. They're trying to
Yeah,
get that.
the cure.
Another dumb thing.
Yep.
Okay, she could have easily had Igor go in there and get the cure.
Yeah.
But she goes first, and obviously it's a trap.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
That is a bit of a like it is kind of annoying because again, you have to think about, they were trying to be like, okay, how do we do this? Okay, we got to do that. And each step of the way as you write a story, you eventually trap your characters. We have to figure out a way to get it. And it ends up being usually either a Deus Ex Machina or whatever. Like, you have to figure out a way. Okay, magic. Woo, we make it work.
Wasn't it Carl that says something like, I've been around enough viscous liquids to know not to just stick my hand in there.
He does say that, and you're just like, Carl, there's a story. I don't want to know it.
He's a friar, okay?
But he's a friar. Friar in the literal sense. He's probably been on the fryers cooking with the viscous liquid. And anyway, so there's a Carl's. Ooh, Carl's Jr. is his. That's his.
Oh no, no.
And that, children, is how Carl's Jr. became to be.
Oh no.
He perfected the vegetable oil mixture for his fries. The end.
The end.
No.
And Carl lived happily ever after.
Okay.
Flipping burgers at Carl's Jr.
Yeah, that's how it worked. Okay, so Igor dies. Thank goodness we're done with him.
Yeah, Frankenstein pulls him. Well, he's swinging on swinging on a rope. Pulls him somehow pulls him off the bridge or whatever.
It whacks him.
Yeah.
That's too complicated for words.
More anecdotal. I don't even know what I wrote there. There's lightning on the path, which starts to destroy things.
Yeah.
It's not the highest point. Yeah, lightning is hitting it.
Oh, and then when Frankenstein gets free, that's when Dracula attacks Van Helsing.
Right.
And we finally see Dracula transform.
Ugh.
They
Which he looks horrid.
Yeah, it's no.
By the way, there was like I think a preview to that, or like a hint in the beginning of the film.
Yeah, and you see a shadow.
Yeah,
of
it's
it.
like a quick little flash. We're
Yeah,
seeing
across
it be
his
like, oh
face.
gosh.
Yeah, there's one like where you see the flash across his face, and then
Yeah.
there's another one where you like see his shadow turn into the monster, but you don't see the monster yet. But God, this ending fight.
It's rough. It's not good. You don't know what's going on. It is so confusing. It is frenetic for no reason.
Just chaotic.
It is, and it's not chaotic in a good way.
No.
It's not like, oh, cool, this is very avant-garde. This is very different. No, it's, and God bless probably the fight choreographers and everybody who had to, because they're not real. It's all CGI. So you don't actually have fight choreographers probably taking part in this. You have CGI designers having to take. You have probably three different levels of like, okay, here's how it needs to go. Here's what it's got to do, and whatever. And so it just becomes this. It has no meaning. It has no permanency. There's no. Ooh, that's exciting. Oh my gosh, that must have hurt. Oh, that's terrible. You're just like, okay, well,
They're just rolling around and
Right.
breaking stuff.
yeah. And we don't care about the lab. We don't. There's no feeling about like, oh no, what's gonna happen if they roll into that? Oh no.
Oh no.
It's just.
This movie he
The
does.
table is broken.
I was gonna say.
Sorry.
This movie does do one thing that I appreciate right here,
What's that?
and it's after he defeats Dracula or whatever.
Yep.
And Anna's got the antidote. Anna with the antidote. He goes and of course he attacks her, and it's like, oh, what happened? Is she dead? Most movies would have been like, oh no, she magically lived, okay, or whatever. But nope, she did.
So
She's just dead.
Here's where we probably disagree. I think I hate that as an ending.
Me too.
It's a terrible ending.
Because-
but it's realistic. You know?
Ish. But here's the thing: is if we had an actual traditional fight between Dracula, and if we remove the werewolf affliction from the board, which I get why, because now Van Helsing becomes the monster he's been hunting. Ooh, cool! Look what we did. We did a literary thing. Like, it's just, it's dumb. It's it's you're taking like a baseball bat and you're like, hey, boom, you get it, boom, 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 you get it. Then you're putting the baseball bat down, picking up a hockey stick and going, you get it, you get it. You see what we're doing? And at this point, I'm just like, could you stop hitting me, please?
Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself.
Basically, yeah, that's what the movie.
Why
is.
are you hitting yourself?
That's what the movie is doing to me, and I'm upset because it's. If you had earned that moment as a movie, great. But you didn't. You did nothing to earn that. We don't always see of Van Helsing and his previous experiences and is the Jekyll and Hyde, but he doesn't really feel bad about what happened to Jekyll and Hyde. There's no emotional resonance. There's no like, oh my gosh, I'm still upset about what happened, that I had to kill a man because he was just had one part of him was a beast. Like if you lean into that, and you leaned into it with with her brother, and been like, it sucks that I have to kill them, and it hurts with every one. Like every monster I have to kill takes a piece of me with it, because it's part of my humanity that I can't get back, where I'm having to kill a monster without there's no recourse. It's been death after death after death, and it's begun to haunt me, and I'm haunted by these deaths. Great. So when he gets bitten by the thingamabob, okay, now we understand. Oh, this is a bad thing. Mm-hmm. This is playing into his greatest fears. And then you could have him go, "You need to kill me. I cannot live like this. I am the thing I would kill. You must remove me from the equation. Like I can't be trusted. I know too much. I'm too powerful. Like da 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 da." But the movie doesn't go there. And because here's what it could have done, is it could have set it up where their final battle was between Van Helsing, Dracula, and Anna. And so Anna then has to be very careful in that battle to avoid getting bitten by werewolf / Van Helsing. And she helps him win the battle against him, barely gets maybe dodges his claws or whatever. And in the end, Dracula dies, and she gives him the antidote. And here's the thing: is if Dracula had been the one to kill her or to cause her the injury, then maybe, and so because again, he has to die before she does. If she dies while Dracula's still alive, her entire family goes to hell, and there's no saving. Yeah. But what if there was a moment where Dracula, he wounds her critically, but she grabs a bandage or something and straps it on and says, "I will not, you will die before I will." And Van Helsing's like, "Oh, God, yeah," and is in his werewolf sense goes, "I will kill you. You cannot kill her first. You have
Can
to die
you do that
first."
again?
No. So
and you have Frankenstein help keep her alive.
Yeah, things that could happen where this movie would work really well, and characters that you've introduced that have great value and are really cool characters with the actors you selected. You could have had a fantastic ending where everyone works together and gets hurt, and maybe this is where Frankenstein's monster doesn't get his escape, doesn't get his happy ending. Maybe he sacrifices himself to save Anna. Maybe that's how because in the end of this movie, the real movie that we're watching, that we just Frankenstein's monster gets to live, and he goes off on the traditional ending where he gets on the boat or the little thing, and he goes away in the water. But what if in this movie you said, "You know what? No, we're going to flip the script. Frankenstein's monster is going to sacrifice himself to save Anna."
That would have been better.
That'd be cool.
And it would be a touching, because again, he says, "I'm not good. I wasn't born bad. I'm good. I'm good." And as a last act of convincing, he saves Anna and says, "Tell them I was good." Can you imagine your audience in that moment? Because they know Frankenstein's monster. They know the story. Yeah. And if you really had done an even better job of building him into the story, that moment and everything pauses maybe as he says that, as he saves Anna. And she's restored, or he transfers her power to him and she becomes superpowered or something. I don't know. But just be let that have meaning, and let his transfer give her strength to defeat Dracula. And I think it would have been cooler if she would have killed Dracula. I think that would have been this is from,
especially because all the other family members have died. You're the last one.
Yeah.
That would have been epic.
And her being able to do it and say having to be able to stand on and say, "You die first."
Yeah.
And have Frankenstein with his fading life watch her do that.
Yeah.
And go, "You did good," or "We did good." Whatever.
You know what? Too bad we got Force Ghost.
With a little tear.
That's terrible.
The Teletubby son.
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
Oh no.
I,
Now please
Oh
do
my
that. No,
God.
don't do that again.
Like I said, it's the worst shot of the whole movie.
Yeah,
I had to point out to Zoe, I don't know if you guys noticed this or not, but you can literally see her ghost walk past him. It's very, very faint.
Oh yeah.
And then it cuts to the shot in the sky where they're all looking down, smiling like,
yeah.
you
I
did
wrote.
it.
I wrote Force Ghost. Yeah, Spirit Ghost glittery.
Glittery.
Salvation riding off into the sunset.
Yeah, and then there's no more words. They just
Yep, that's it.
they're gone.
That's all they do.
Okay.
like I said, here's the thing. This is what bothers me the most about Hollywood, and especially now, but even so then. I am not a Hollywood writer. I write on my own. I've written a novel. When I'm coming up with a better story than anybody could possibly pull together, what is going on in these writer rooms?
I have a devil's advocate question.
Yes.
You love this movie. Please tell us why you love this movie.
I love it because Hugh Jackman and Carl.
Okay.
And Kate Beckinsale is fun in this movie. That's it.
The music's good. You said the music was good.
The
and
music
I second
is
that.
brilliant. It's a very close contest between any other movie when it comes to the best soundtrack. If ever I need to like get pumped up or just be like, all right, yeah, I just have to put in Van Helsing soundtrack and and it is an absolute
It's a vibe.
banger. It's just brilliant.
I know why the movie's so bad.
Why?
Underworld came out in 2003. And they're like, werewolves versus vampires. We got to do something.
Okay.
We got to do something about that. We need merchandise.
So this movie came out after Underworld?
Yeah. The first Underworld, 2003. And then their Underworld Evolution came out in 2006, so a couple years after this. So everything back then was
Werewolves and vampires.
Yeah, and I could be wrong. I don't remember Underworld getting a video game.
I thought it
Van
did.
Helsing did.
Oh,
And I remember seeing like toys and merch and so that's why it was to sell things.
To sell things to try and get on to try and hit the market.
Yeah.
I have one more
And
trivia.
hit that trend.
Yep.
A good thing from this movie. So the actor who played Dracula in One of the Brides, Verona, they met while filming. They were married the next year, and they have 3 children. They're still together
How
apparently.
cute.
So wait, which one? The redhead? The
I think the brunette.
Okay, I could see that. I could see that, actually.
There's a story you don't tell your children until they're much older. Do you want to know how we met? Oh, I was Dracula, and your mother was one of my brides.
I will say, like,
So fitting.
this movie's not totally dismissible. Like,
No.
it's got its parts. I will probably never watch it all the way through again.
Yeah.
I would just
My heart.
stop at the ball. I
Literally,
think.
I own this movie, and I would
As-
watch it almost
as-
every night going to sleep.
As do
It
I.
was on TV all the time.
Yeah.
Like,
loved it.
You couldn't escape it.
Here's the thing. I think when there's a lot of like painting over the parts that are frustrating because it is Hugh Jackman.
Yes.
And it is the guy who plays Carl and it is Kate Beckinsale and it is a couple others like really sterling, like, oh my gosh, like the bishop that he meets at the Vatican. That's a really strong, he's got an acting history. He's a character actor. The dude is amazing. So they really, for the 2004, 2003?
2004.
This
2004. It really has a good solid cast, but when you start to actually sit down and like actually pay attention to the movie, you're just like, oh, sweet baby Moses, what did you do? What have you done? And it just is disappointing. It's
Because like, it was, for me, like at the time it came out in 2003, I would have been 12.
yeah,
2004.
Yeah, 2004, so I would have been 13.
yeah,
Perfect demographic for this movie.
Yeah.
There's not like it's not like really rated R or anything like that. So it was like just action, fight sequences out the wazoo.
Yeah.
And I never really understood, like as a kid, like why I'd never watched the whole thing.
Yeah.
Now I know.
Well, and this was like
'Cause,
my
like-
first introduction into like who Van Helsing
Yeah.
was. So
Yeah.
that was what was really cool to me. Of like, ooh, there's this like
Whereas you
hunter
and I are
guy.
like 20, 21
Right.
at the time.
Yep. I would have 82. I would have been 21. Well, no, I've been 23 because I graduated high school in 2001.
Wasn't the guy who played Dracula in this movie? Wasn't he also in League of Extraordinary Gentlemen?
Probably now that you mention it.
Which is a movie I love and Aaron hates. But
Okay, the
So,
passion.
okay, so here I will make the same point, and we can actually do this at some point. We can do League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Here's the thing about that: that movie has moments, and
Yeah.
it had like a really cool concept.
Yeah.
and it just let everything down.
I think at the end with the CGI where the guy like takes the serum and transforms, or
Yeah.
that's gross.
Yeah.
And it's also bad CGI.
Yeah. Well, in the ending where Quartermain's fist comes out of the ground, and people are like, "You thought you were gonna get a sequel, didn't you?"
Yeah.
He's just not. And I mean, again, it's Sean Connery and a whole bunch of other pretty solid actors. It's up to story. It's your.
This isn't the turtle. I'm not turtle enough.
No, that's Master of Disguise.
Okay, I love that
That's
movie.
Dana Carvey in Master of Disguise.
Turtle.
Okay.
Am I not good enough for your Turtle Club? That's what is it? Jennifer Esposito in that movie
That's my
too.
I
favorite.
think so. Yeah.
I'd be down to watch that one.
Oh God. We could do a double feature of
Ernest Saves Christmas.
double feature with
No, this would have to be like after December.
Right, okay.
We
Yeah.
need some joy in our lives. We got to figure out what bad Hallmark movie we're going to do.
Oh Lord.
See, I kind of feel like Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer that's not a bad movie though. It's like it's campy in a fun
no,
way.
it's campy and fun.
And it doesn't overstay its welcome.
I was thinking about that actually. Like we need a bad like Hallmark movie to watch.
I'm sure there's one out there. you know.
There's thousands.
Okay, apparently there's this new one. I don't know if it's good or bad, but there's a YouTube family I keep up with, and they do a podcast, and they interviewed one of the Hallmark writers, and she's one of the main writers, and there's a movie about like I think the Chiefs, so it's like a football kind of thing.
Okay.
Oh, is it Taylor Swift tie-in?
Yeah. I think that could be fun.
We could do Red One.
Oh my gosh, that might be actually kind of fun. So
It could be fun bad.
yeah, so
It's got bad reviews, but
Okay,
it's
what
like
is this?
So Red One, it's Dwayne Johnson and
my, okay.
a bunch of other like rock and stars. But it's the idea that Santa gets kidnapped. J. Jonah Jameson's
Yeah.
the actor who plays him in Spider-Man is Santa, and the reviews were not great.
no.
And people were like, "Man, it's all right."
It's like very like fun. Oh, but the reviews are terrible, but the commercials were like, critics are rating this the best Christmas movie ever, and like,
the reviews were not that.
Where
way.
are you
Best
coming up with
Christmas
this?
music ever in an alternate universe.
Right.
Like
Yeah, because then like you go and check the reviews, and it's like this is terrible. Like what?
I think one of the accusations that the reviewers aimed at it was that it was a movie written by AI. Is it felt like
Probably
it was not. It was written by. But that's also an accusation because I feel this is an I feel statement. A lot of our modern writers, for whatever reason, something's gone wrong, and they're not writing great stuff. So yeah,
I just found it too. There's a polar bear.
I know. I was like, oh, what is
that
this?
talks.
Oh, and
No.
that's the lady from
pretty sure.
Charlie's Angels. Well, one of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
okay.
Lucy,
well, it'll
whatever.
be Ernest Saves Christmas next week,
Thank God.
and then after that we'll do Red One.
Why is Red One 2 hours?
In 3 minutes.
Hold
In
on.
3 minutes.
There's gonna. I don't want to pay a lot to watch. That
It
movie.
literally came out this year. It says.
Yes.
Yeah, no, it was like 4 weeks ago.
Oh my. Okay.
We'll
Wait, are we going to be able to like actually stream this, or do you have to go to the theater?
I don't know. We'll find-
I'm sure we can.
It's got a 31% on Rotten Tomatoes.
yeah.
I'm sure you can rent it now.
I think it's on Disney
Maybe.
Plus already.
Oh, okay.
Probably.
Oh yeah, November 15th it came.
Yeah, they
Okay.
they're trying to get as many viewers on
Okay,
it as possible
Zoe,
to
look
try
at
and
this.
buffer it. Anyway, so there you go. That is Van Helsing, and by also the first part of this was Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer.
When are we going to review this?
It's hard because of nostalgia for me.
Right. I'll go first. So here's the thing. Nostalgia doesn't play into it for me as much. I do love this movie,
You own it.
but I don't love it enough to be like, yay, this is really great. I love it enough to go, it's fun to watch have it on the background. And then like when key scenes come around, ooh, I want to watch that scene. That's a fun scene. Okay, now we're doing this whole scene in Budapest. Check you later, Felicia. Bye.
Back to my video game.
Yeah, back to and then we're back. Okay, we're doing something cool. Oh, we're in the lab scene with the CGI. Checking you out, and then basically from there on out, it's dumb. Anyway, so like it would be something I would watch in the background. Like, oh, I'm gonna pay attention now. So like,
Sound like
six,
Gollum.
I know
Yeah.
I did.
6.5.
Wow.
I mean, because here's the thing: if it was worth watching again and again, like full length through, you really got to do some work to get me there. Like I would watch Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer a couple times,
Yeah.
because it's fun. There's enough there that it knows what it wants to do, and it's wanting to tell you a story.
And the quirkiness.
And the quirkiness, and it cares enough to tell the story and keep the thread of the themes and stuff through it. and it delivers. It delivers on what you want. You're asking for a funny Christmas movie that's a little weird and a little wacky with 2000s sensibility. You get it. This movie, you're asking for vampires versus Dracula, and you get, or no, sorry, werewolves versus Dracula, and you get that's my problem. And I wish I could say like, yeah, let me watch this every Thanksgiving or something.
I've been really curious because you do own this movie.
I do, and
watching it, I
And you
was
said
like, I want to hear why.
You said it was one of your favorite movies of all time, but you also said that like an unexpected favorite movie.
Yeah, I think because again, Carl and Van Helsing and Kate Beckinsale, those three pieces, and I mean like the action scenes where it's actual practical, like in the village.
Yeah.
The music
Is this like a guilty pleasure
yeah,
movie for you? Kind
absolutely. It's I unapologetically like this movie, but I unapologetically disagree fundamentally with choices they made.
For sure. It was different watching it now than when
Yeah.
I was younger, for sure.
Well, and I think that's the thing we've discovered as we've been journeying through nostalgia with a lot of those 80s movies. Things are not what they appear to us at that age. We're like, oh my gosh, this is bad. This was not, or oh, it's like, okay, I can allow that. I mean, Never Ending Story still has power.
Yeah.
Still a good movie. All right, I've stalled enough for everyone else to make up their minds.
So, I mean, I get where Aaron's coming from. I would put this on, like, to go to sleep.
Yeah.
And so by the time I'd fall asleep would be, like, kind of the boring parts. You know what I'm saying?
You time it just right.
Are you sure that's what happened, or was it the opposite?
What do you mean?
The boring part came on, and that's why you fell asleep.
No. Because I would make it about halfway through and then, like, you know, start,
That's about when
like,
it starts getting boring.
nodding off.
If you're wondering, do you have insomnia? Do you need to go to sleep? Watch halfway through Van Helsing. You'll be out for sure.
I don't know. I also feel like it's one of the semi, like, horror genre-esque that, like, it didn't scare me, so I
Yeah.
could watch it easier.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of a soft horror. Like it's an
Yeah.
introduction, like it's scary, and the brides they're terrifying, but it's also like there's not a lot of blood. It's
Right, yeah.
It's very bloodless, but it's also like it's a little if you're a
There's a few jump scares.
there
Yeah.
are.
That I did not remember, and a couple of them got me.
Yeah.
Well, I just jumped real quick. But like,
Yeah.
Well, and kind of like me and my dad's thing was like always watching like action-packed movies
Yeah.
because my mom like didn't really like that.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of like my guilty pleasure of like I really love this because it was action-packed and like, I mean, yeah, it's almost 3 hours, but it like, it keeps going.
Yeah.
So I would probably give it, for nostalgia purposes, for me an 8.
Okay.
Because yes, the CGI is horrible and there are a lot of plot holes, but Carl makes it worth
Yeah.
watching like 100%.
What in the name of Allah are you doing?
Oh, he's
Carl?
the best character in the
The
movie.
best.
Okay.
Okay, go.
Vicky.
I'm gonna give this a 5.
Okay.
Shots fired.
She was grossed out by the eggs.
Oh my gosh, it was not necessary.
Yeah.
But there are shining moments.
Yeah.
But there are also moments that I'm like, why is this one of Aaron's favorite movies? He's a bigger critic than I am. I don't get it. Now I understand.
Yeah.
You've explained yourself. I've given it a 5.
Period.
In a sentence.
I'm with Aaron. It's like a 6.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
the harsh? I thought you would be lower than me. Anyway,
No,
go ahead.
I don't know. I just like I've shared my experience with the movie. Like I said, as a kid, I could never finish it. The only reason why I finished it is because we did it for this podcast, and that's it. Like it's got its moments, but they're all in the first half. The end is just the middle is really slow, and then the end is just boring.
I mean, I literally love it so much. The day we did Dracula and we said we were going to do Van Helsing, I literally did go home and watch Van Helsing. So I watched it like twice before
Yeah.
this. And heck, I might go. Well, I can't today because I have to go see another movie, but I probably watch it again soon. I mean, it's just like you said, something you can kind of just turn on and like vibe.
That would be what the purpose is served for me.
Yeah. Well, there you go. All right. Well, there it is. 2 movies that you should probably watch in your lifetime if you have a chance. I would heavily suggest you check out Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer.
It's on
because
YouTube.
It's wilder. If you can believe it, it's wilder than we make it seem. And it just, the Chiquita Banana Dance is worth the price of admission because it is the wildest Wildest thing. All right. Well, my name is Aaron.
I'm Phil.
I'm Vicki.
And I'm Zoe.
And this has been Nerds by Screenlight. We will see you next week for Ernest Saves Christmas, the most exciting Christmas movie of all time.
I haven't seen it, so I'm excited.
Oh,
It's amazing.
It's going to be great. We'll see
Yes.
y'all later. Peace out.
Bye.
Bye.
The raspberry flapovers will be out in a moment. The kitchen is closed.
You've been listening to the Nerds by Screenlight podcast, presented by Create at Morgan Productions, located in Fort Morgan, Colorado, USA. For more information on our production house, other podcasts hosted here, and further details, please visit www.createatmorgan.org. You can find us on Twitter at the handle CreateAtMorgan. Create at Morgan is a school club at Lincoln High School, our alternative education campus in Morgan County. Our sponsor is Aaron DeLay, a language arts teacher at Lincoln. Send any feedback to adelayedteacher@gmail.com. Thank you for listening to our podcast.